He's hot, he's cool, he loves horses, women love him. He's Haryanvi with a Aussie twist. Meet the very gritty, very sexy Randeep Hooda. Hi.
Hi, I think this is the best description you have given of me.
Is it an incorrect one?
No, it's not so incorrect, but I didn't think you thought so highly of me.
I don't. I sort of, kind of, build you up to put you down. But, I've known you a very long time.
Yeah, you have.
Even before you did Monsoon Wedding, or at least even before Monsoon Wedding came out.
Yes.
And you really haven't changed that much. But your circumstances have continually changed.
Yeah.
Are you now where you want to be, or is there still kind of like a desire and angst to get somewhere?
I think that's inherent to me, a desire and angst, I have this uneasy energy about me, and something, I've never put limits to myself. So when it's been up and down and this and that, I've always known that, okay, this is going to pass and I'm going to go through it. And I have, what happens to most actors in film industry, like I've been there for 14 years, yet I'm not a jaded actor, or I'm not somebody who's totally been discovered. There are new things I keep trying to do. I think that comes from the fact that when it's not working out here, I go somewhere else.
Meaning when it's not working out in the acting world?
Yes, when it's
then you
not
go to the Royal Rooster
Royal
world.
Roosters, horses, all kinds of...
Royal Roosters. We weren't talking about horses then, but I leave that to your imagination.
Yeah, I was not talking about horses.
Your first film you actually got, I've read somewhere, that on the basis of not your looks and not your acting, Monsoon Wedding I'm talking about, but on the basis of your Australian accent. Is that kind of correct?
Yes, because Meera was looking for somebody with an American accent, really. And I was doing this play with Sunit Tandon, which I never did because I got in a drunk driving accident, broke my leg, my hands, my head.
Bad boy, no?
Bad boy.
Bad boy, yeah.
So I got into that accident and I was laid up in bed. Then I came one day to Delhi because when I became an actor, I told my parents, they only had one thing to say. They said, "Budhape mein hamare upar boj mat banna yaar." That's the only thing that I had to say. I said, okay, fine. And now I've been lying in bed for like 8 months at home. So there's this guy, this photographer called Sudhir I knew, and we were supposed to shoot a catalogue. So I called him up and I said, can you shoot the catalogue? And my hand was broken, like it's broken in Monsoon Wedding. And I said, my hand's broken, but I'll put a skin color plaster, and it was a wedding catalog.
So she liked you so much, Meera, that she, in spite of hand broken, not being American, being Australian, something about you obviously clicked, right?
I guess.
So I have...
I actually didn't even remember the lines. She was
prompting you.
No, we both are sitting, we are doing a reading, and I lost where she was on the page, and I was too embarrassed to say, I don't know where we are. So I kept responding as if I'm like, she'll turn a page, I'll turn a page. And then she said, where are you reading all this from? Then I sheepishly said, I kind of, I don't know. She says, well, no, that's good. And then my next test was, she sat there and said, okay, leave all this. Just flirt with me.
She's getting her kicks, right? That was your casting couch. You
it was
realized
on a couch,
that, right?
Yeah, now again on a couch with a very beautiful woman.
Yeah, but I'm not casting you, honey.
Yeah, damn,
in anything.
damn.
But you can flirt with me all you like.
Yes,
that's always allowed.
I've always done that. I think we've got a very healthy flirtatious
So this is why the
relationship.
nice introduction, okay?
But anyway, I'm going to have a show one day and I'm going to introduce Koel.
Exactly like that.
Yeah, I mean, with my own interpretation.
In the Royal Rooster interpretation, I hope. But that's not why I brought up the Australian accent. I wonder if you can still kind of do a bit of Aussie speak for us.
Oh. G'day, mate. How's it going? I'm Randeep, actor from Haryana. I said the same thing to this sweet Sheila I met at a Barbie, and she got, what kind of name is Randeep? So I say, don't get your knickers in a twist, darling. Oh, that was American.
But you're quite good with that, yeah.
Don't get your knicker. Don't. It's actually they're very nasal. If I speak it in a nasal way, it'll be better. Say, don't get your knickers in a twist, darling. It's long for Randy. Now I may have a few kangaroos loose in the paddock. But by God is now that's American. But by God, no more whinging about my name from. Now I'm going into another. I'm going to southern accent.
Okay,
yeah.
listen. No, forget that. Choose a couple of lines from this.
I can choose a couple of lines.
Choose a couple of lines, and do the Aussie slang in a Haryanvi accent. Like you are in your comfort zone, but talking Aussie.
Don't get your knickers in a twist. It's long for run.
That was Randeep is long for Randy, okay? Just to be clear.
But it's more like the like sweet Sheila, G'day mate, I don't know.
Did you speak with an Aussie accent then?
Yes, I did. I had a very thick Aussie accent, and it's been 14 years that I've been back to Australia. I've never gone back since I came back, so I'm kind of out of touch.
But your accent is quite neutral now. Yeah, your accent's quite neutral. And then you met Nasir sir in Monsoon Wedding.
Yes.
That was the first time you met him, right? And you bonded. What did you bond over? Don't look at me like that.
Oh, it was just.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, it was our common interest towards life, and I had a great revenue. I remember seeing Nasir for the first time, and I went into this room. We were supposed to be doing workshops, and there were all these gaddas running around, and there was Nasiruddin Shah sitting with his white hair, and he's pondering over a script. I swear to God, kid me not. The room there was a spotlight on him. I could see the spotlight on him, and I was like, whoa! I couldn't talk to him. I was sitting there.
What were you on? That you could see the spotlight on him, your bad boy behavior. How intoxicated were you?
No.
Although with Nasir there is a halo.
There is a halo.
There is
you agree?
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
So I saw him like that, and it was. But we bonded like. He started it. So he said, "So, what did you do to your hand?" Because my hand was broken.
Yeah.
I was trying to make chai with one hand and all that. So I started talking, and and then while talking in an Aussie accent, I spoke in Hindi, which was totally Haryanvi accent. So that was like, he said, yeah, you're a Ajib kind of character. So we bonded over that, and I think that was my biggest takeaway from Monsoon Wedding was my friendship or my association with Nasir Bhai.
So basically, Nasir sir's Motley Group of Motley Group of Theatre became your schooling ground.
It became my schooling ground. I started, usually in theatre, at least at that time, if you're even partially good looking, they did not nobody took you seriously. And I'm not saying it from a pompous point of view, but it was a practical problem.
No, I know.
Yeah. So they were all people were raising their eyebrows. What are you doing? And all that. But Nasir Bhai stuck with me, and he obviously saw something in me. And I think most of what he saw in me was mostly, and that is the bottom line of all talent, is enthusiasm.
Now, there's something you said recently after Highway, which I found, it hit me. Maybe you didn't mean it like that. You said, I didn't think that Imtiaz worked with actors like me. He worked with a certain set of actors.
Right.
And when he came to you, you were quite surprised that he wanted to work with you. Do you still feel like the outsider? Because that statement sort of made me go, okay, so he's not seeing himself as a A-lister in with the, the cool directors, etc.
Well, I have been in the industry for 14 years. I don't know how I can be an outsider. But what happens is that there's a synergy that happens with people who have grown up together, and if you're somebody's son, your publicity and everything, or curiosity, you talk about your dad, your mom, your this, your that. So if a director casts in an industry kid, and it can seem, it does help into casting a total outsider. And somebody who's been around and all that, although Imtiaz had told me that he liked me in Monsoon Wedding. He's not seen any movie of mine since. And he liked a play I did for Motley. So the two things that we've talked about were the contributing factors of me being in Highway. And the other thing was, he said, I could not think of anybody else who could do this role, which is always a plus. And I think...
And then has it changed where you are post-Highway?
But even Imtiaz didn't anticipate that this character is going to have such an impact. Because it got developed by Randeep Hooda being in the character rather than just the character itself. There are a lot of things that, came about by me actually being in the background,
But also it is, for most girls, it was this thing of that dark side that you're dealing with in yourself. You're going, how many times have you wanted to flirt with the not allowed?
Right.
The forbidden.
Right. So what it has done is, what I did not anticipate, was that people will come out falling in love with my character, okay, because he is the uncouth one. And then the other part was that I'll have, I think my female fan following, so to speak, for lack of
I wonder why. I mean,
lack of a better word, has increased. I mean, I used to on social media and this, I had to get on it and say, please do not wish to be kidnapped. I said, it's not every kidnapper is Mahabir Bhati, not even me.
Although this is the one film, even though your female fan following, as you say, is increased, that you keep your clothes on, right? I mean, you hardly take them off.
That is another thing. I mean, that is another thing. Not that Jism 2 did not help, not that Sai Bibi Gangster did not help. But here, I mean, there was across sections, there was a certain amount of adulation and thing that I got, which was unanticipated.
And then for someone like you who does Jism 2 and Jannat, I don't know, number 1, 2, 3, Murder, all of them, right? All these films which are sort of erotic thrillers, exotica, whatever you need to call them, horror. You say that you get conscious taking off your clothes? But you're like half, even in this Rang Rasya, you're naked most of the time.
No,
half naked, sorry.
When they say they're going to put you on a cover of a men's fitness magazine, so then you go, oh shit, man, I've not been working out, you know, and I'm not a big worker outer, you know.
But in a movie, you're okay. You don't care if you have the 8-pack or not, as long as you're not like rolls of fat.
Because what happens in a movie is that I forget that there's a camera, first of all. And I'm playing a character. It is not representation of Randeep Hooda.
So then, if you're saying this, and I've done a fair few sex scenes in my time, people always say, you know, oh, there's so many people around, and it's not hot and it's not intermittent, but it can be. If you choose for it.
For a woman.
And for a man.
Intimate.
Yeah.
It has never been for me.
But you can get turned on.
No. I have never
You're
been.
choosing not to be then.
Yes.
So what are you thinking about?
I am thinking, you know...
Because you're not thinking about the character, otherwise you'll be in it.
You know how to do these things? Thinking of the character, yes. I'm thinking of the character. But how to do these scenes well, which I have now, you know,
He's the pro at the intimate bed scenes,
yeah,
right?
it is to not do it from the point of view of lust at all.
Then?
It's to do from the feeling. In a movie, it's never a pornographic scene. A pizza guy does not turn up to your door and this woman in lingerie says, come hither, and they start, you know, whatever. That does not happen.
You can't use this word on national TV.
Well, they can't, they start making out,
yeah.
You know. In a movie, it's always a journey of two characters and they have feelings for each other. And at a certain point of time in the script, it culminates into a physical intimacy, which is the most natural thing to do. But the point is to not think of it from lust and just look the feeling of it. As long as you're with the feeling of it, you can do what you want.
We have to go for a short break, but before that, these films that you do, are they for survival, money, or greater art? What are you doing them for?
Different reasons. There was a time I had no work, right? After doing films, I had no work for 2.5 years.
That's the hardest part, right?
Yes. And then when I started working again with Once Upon a Time, Sai Bibi Gangster, it was still, but I was still pushed into the niche. So when I was given the opportunity by Bhatt Sahab to do Jannat 2, a role of a drunk cop, I didn't even have a girlfriend in that. So from there it started changing. That led to Jism 2, that led to Murder 3. But it was not just doing a Jism 2. It was doing that and then realizing the reach it has, the music and this and that. So I needed to get two people. I need people who turn up to see my movies. And for that, that's what I have garnered.
So it is survival. It is surviving as an actor. To be present, to constantly be in people's radar.
It is trying to be a more well-known actor.
And on that note, we're going to take a star. We have Raja Ravi Verma, aka Randeep Hooda, right here, who is going to put color on this blank canvas. What are you going to make?
I don't know what I'm going to make.
Okay.
If you're really just free with yourself, you can wing anything.
So wing it then.
So
Do you have something in your mind?
No. But since we are here, painter Raja Ravi Verma obviously comes to my head. So let's see. And I'm not even going to sketch it. Usually you put a sketch on and do it, but I'm just going to wing it.
The way that you're holding the brush and stuff, and the way that is this like, do we know if it was his way? Because every painter holds it differently and does it differently, right?
Yeah, well, we studied his strokes. And
Have
I mean,
to
even
be
if
able
I
to
even
do
if
it,
I
yeah.
practice for like, 100 years, I would not be able to paint like Raja Ravi Verma. It is an impossibility. It is a talent that he was born at, and I'm sure if Raja Ravi Verma was asked to act, although I doubt that what I'm saying is true, but he won't be so good at it. But I think he was a great actor. To keep people entertained, like if I was to do your portrait and you were sitting there.
So you have to engage me, otherwise I'll keep going like...
Yeah, so I have to engage you, and I would come to you, and I would I would probably go do something like that and go, okay, little flirtatious, yeah, and it might lead to a lot of things. So I guess that was the
And
part
that was
of
who he was, right?
was
Or at least that's the part that the film is showing.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, all artists are like that. I mean, sometimes, it is blown out of proportion, but somebody who's so involved in what he's doing, he would obviously have a, certain, he's more worried about what he's doing than his, and that was his life. He was really a painter.
Rang rasiya, rang rasiya.
What I really want to do, I did not want to put the red in there, and then that's a mistake. What I really want to do was this.
Oh. But that's not what he did. His art was much more like realist and...
I'm not playing Raja Ravi Verma.
Okay, you're playing yourself. This is what Randeep would do.
This is, you said paint a thing, and this is what I would do. So that's my little... Okay, I haven't had a lot of these, but this is what
I like it.
Yeah, if I not put that red in there, it was just
maybe
black.
it needs just a tika, a red, like a symbol.
Good. Good idea.
It'll complete it.
Good idea.
There's something Japanese about this god, I have to say.
Well, this is my version of Lakshmi.
Yeah, okay. Works, don't touch it. So, tell me this, 4 years in the making, right? I mean, it was made, but now you're releasing it 4 years later, or
6 years.
6 years later.
Yeah.
What is going to be that advantage? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Why does it matter and why doesn't it?
Well, I believe that if it had come at that time, it would have come before its time. And that has been the tragedy with Ketan Mehta, the filmmaker, always. It would have come before his time, because at that time, biopics were not in fray. The only one big biopic that was made, it was made by him, called Mangal Pandey. And now there is a certain, aspiration quality to all of India with this new government coming in. We're realizing that, a common man can stand up and do something. So there are things that people want to see about icons or people who achieve something. And what was good in them, they want to imbibe and want to learn from their mistakes. So there is that quality that we have, which is already there. The other thing is, there are more cinemas now. The factions of cinema-going audience is very divided and overlapped. There has been a...
So where's this targeted at?
This is targeted at everybody, really.
So then...
Everybody who's above 18.
Okay. Because it has frontal nudity, etc.
Yeah, it has a lot of sensuality. And there's another person asking me this question today, and I said, it's not that we have shown more skin. Yeah, there is frontal nudity, but that's just one scene. But there are other scenes. But what there is that there is a lot of rawness and purity to that passion, which really, I did Jism too. I did not get uncomfortable. I watched it like this. Yeah, looking good. Okay, fine. But when I watched this movie, I think after 4 years yesterday, I was sitting like this.
Yeah, you're very, it's very easy to sit opposite you. There are a lot of people I sit opposite, actors, where I know I'm asking uncomfortable questions and they get uncomfortable and the moment is I'm feeling like great ease, like I could just
Thank you. You can ask me anything. I've got nothing to hide.
Are you single?
Kinda.
What does kinda mean? Kinda means nothing. That's disrespect to whoever you're with.
No, no, it is not disrespect to whoever with. The point is that I really do go and try and live these parts. I really go and be a sportsman. I really go and do those things. Within that thing, if you're with me or understanding of me, it's okay. You have to let me be and let me go.
So what is the kinda then? Why kinda? Then you're with someone, right? Who are you with? Who are we talking about kinda?
Well, I don't want to talk about it. That's a very personal part. I don't want to put that person into this. I can say what I want. I don't want to put that person into this.
Because it's kinda. If it was,
I don't want to put those people into it, okay?
Those people? Are you a bit of like a, is that the image, Playboy?
What?
Because before that you had like a committed relationship with Sushmita, you had another committed relationship with an older woman, blah, 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 where you've been a toy boy, all sorts of things, right? But now are you a bit of a player? Is that what the new Randeep is?
I don't think I'm a dater, player kind of a thing, but I'm a lover.
Another word. Means that a little bit here, a little bit there, moving on. Yeah, that look is giving it away. And part of it is also something that adds to your sex appeal, I think, or at least for me, and I have a little surprise for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like surprises because
That surprise- no, you may
I'm
or
very
may
hard to
not
get
like it.
surprised. I would be very hard to surprise.
Well, you may or may not like it. Can we have this surprise? But you have to go with it, since you go with everything.
Yeah. Sure, bring it on. God, I haven't touched one of those for like
And
4 or 5
this very
years.
kind gentleman is lending us his prized possession of the
Thank you, brother.
saxophone. Can Randeep have a little
क्या
go?
हाल है? क्या हाल है? मैंने ये तो वो है ना? This is not alto sax. This is alto sax? It's a very fancy one, man. What's he going to get? Barrington. मैंने तो ये I have not touched one of these for a long time, and 4 years because horses took over my life firstly, and secondly I started finding that the tenor of my voice was getting affected.
I read that, but I have to say, can you just stop for 1 second? There's something very sexy about this image.
Oh, it is better when you stand up and do it.
There's something sexy about. Oh,
I don't have the muscles anymore.
it's not so easy. Looks so much easier than it is.
Anyway, that's all I can do without practice.